Hello, my sewing friends. This is Friday Sews.
Woohoo!
I'm Jen. This is Friday Sews. When we talk about sewing in life, all the details are in the box down below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel while you're down there. I have some things to tell you about. First of all, an impromptu, unexpected fabric shopping trip today. Then I want to tell you about a book I read this past week. And then I want to share a little bit of Jesus with you. A kind of Christmassy thing. Let me tell you about the sewing. This week, I didn't really get any sewing done. Just didn't. Except last night I was working on my daughter's wedding cape and I did drape the hood. Now the thing about this is that there's a hood that comes on the cape, the pattern that I'm using, but it's not what I want because it's not big enough and it doesn't drape low enough. I want this, it's probably not going to go over her head, but I wanted it bigger than the one on the pattern. So I fiddled around and, tried this with another pattern for a hoodie that I have and 2 or 3 other things, but I like that and I think I might use that. I did draft the pattern for it, but I don't know yet. So let me tell you about what I did today, which was go up north about a half an hour to deliver something to my husband that he had forgotten and he's on a trip. And so I did that, and then I asked Apple Maps where the nearest Joanns was, and I know of one up that way, but it didn't take me to that one. It took me to one that I didn't even know was there. It's fairly close to me. I was really surprised. It's not a small one. It's not a big one. It's kind of a medium-sized one. So I went in, and I looked around, and here's what happened.
I am shopping at Joann's. I know, this seems like an odd choice, doesn't it? But my daughter who's getting married wants a very iridescently rainbow wedding. And I was thinking that for her cape, I want to do something kind of fun and in line with the theme. But I thought, too much on the cape. So what about just the inside of the cape hood? So that's what that's for. And this is just flannel because I don't know, it's, I really like a little, holiday top to wear while I'm out and around before I go up north, and even when I'm up north. So that's what this is. I was looking for blue, but I think I'm gonna go try and stop by a quilt shop, see what they have. You never know.
I walked out with this, and this is dance costumey fabric. It is not what you would think would line the hood of a cape. But here's the thing. Here's the lining. Here's the actual cape. And so this is what you're going to see next to this. And the reason is my daughter's very kind of flashy and she has a vision for what she wants for her wedding. And she really likes iridescent stuff. She's never going to put it over her head. So all these sequins, it would catch in your hair, but I don't think it will because I don't think she's going to put it on her head. So no problem. That little bit that you'll see in the back of the cape, that will be this. And that means this will look really beautiful and this will be really beautiful on the inside with the fur that I have to go around all of it. And it's not going to get costumey out of hand, which it could. But this little bit, I will allow it. I also picked up a couple of other things while I'm there, and I got some other fabric, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. I got some stretchy thread, which was on sale, and I got 2 patterns. They're both costume patterns, historical patterns. McCall's 7886 was $2.99, and I got it because I want to look at the hood. That's all I want is just the hood. I want to compare this with the one I drafted and just see. The other is Berta. Berta was on sale also for $2.99. I never buy their patterns, but I saw this one. I was looking for capes actually, and it's a historical pattern, and I grabbed it because I like these for nightgowns. Moved on to Alma Sue's Quilt Shop, which is in the center of the Amish community in Sarasota, Florida. So here's what happened there. Before I go in, I wanted to show you, this is Alma Sue's Quilts. And it's in the Amish section of Sarasota. So I'm going to go in and see if I can find some Christmas prints just for fun. Very cute little quilt shop. What quilt shop is not very cute? Really? So I think I'm going to drive home and maybe go to my quilt shop where I bought my sewing machine and just see what they have. Didn't find anything, But I did think I should go to my quilt shop, which is where I bought this, and I should have a look around and just see what they have with Christmas fabrics. I know from having been in there before that they have a pretty decent selection. So I went in there, and this is what happened.
Here I am in the Charlotte Quilt Studio, and it looks like this. And I found some Christmas fabric. So, whoops. And I just knocked over a basket.
If you want to show the Christmas fabric you just bought.
And here's the Christmas fabric I just bought. I think it's Moda. It's Moda? I think it was. Oh, it'll say here, won't it? Yeah.
It is Moda.
It is Moda. So I think that'll be a nice little top for Christmas. So, yeah. I love this little shop because it's where I bought my Pfaff.
And I walked out with a beautiful quilting cotton. And I'll show you that in a minute. And I then stopped by Hobby Lobby on the way home because it's right on the corner of where my street meets the main street that goes all up and down the Gulf Coast of Florida. And, you know, it's right there. It's like 7 minutes from my house. And I thought, I'm just going to just run in real quick and see what's on sale. Okay, yes, I caved. And I went to, I don't even think you can see that, Hobby Lobby. A little more fabric and then some stuff for a top secret Christmas ornament that I'm doing. So fabric is 40% off right now, I think through probably till Monday. And I found this little knit and I thought it was really cute. It's got two-way stretch. And I thought, you know, what I wanted was just something I could whip up really quickly, like in an afternoon, that I could wear while I'm running errands and while I'm at home and even when I'm up north for Christmas. I just thought it'd be nice to have Christmas stuff, Christmas clothing. So I went ahead and pulled out a pattern for the knit. And it is Vogue 9057. I want to try this little t-shirt from Marcy Tilton. It's very simple. It'll go together quickly. It'll fit great because it's Marcy Tilton. And I think these two things are going to go together really nicely. So that needs to go in the washer. And then back to the quilt shop and Joann's. Well, I got a couple of fabrics. The quilt shop, I got to tell you what this is before I show it to you. This is a Moda fabric. Moda is the fabric manufacturer. You can kind of see it. It's leaves and holly berries. This is from the Once Upon a Christmas collection by Sweetfire Road. And the name of this specific design is For Mom, You Make Christmas Magical and We Love You. That's the title of the design. Here's a close-up. I just thought it was really cute and whimsical and not too in-your-face Christmas. And so I just thought I liked it. And so I got it. I got a couple of yards of it. So I got that one. And then when I was at Joann's getting this, I got some flannel because I didn't see any quilting cotton or calico cotton that I liked. And I thought, well, flannel will be nice because it'll soften up in the washer. And also I can make it with longer sleeves and it'll be a little more comfortable. So woven, which was not what I wanted knit, but you know, you take what you can find. It is little candies, little peppermint candies. And for this, the woven and also the quilting cotton, let me throw this in the washer. And also this. That's not going in the washer. I just need to get it off the table. I have 4 patterns for the wovens. I have New Look 6708, which is a favorite of my friend Carol. She's made it several times and she really likes it. There's that one, Vogue 8419, and this is from 2007. I think this is really pretty. It's made for wovens. I thought it was made for knits, but it's got like 2 darts that come up and then 2 little tucks right here in the neckline. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I haven't made it. It's in my stash, so maybe that would be fun. And that was today. That was today's shopping, and that was all of the sewing. So let's move on into life. I want to tell you about a book I read. I keep all my books on my old iPhone 7. I have 139 books on here, and I listen all the time. I always have a book going, always, like always. There is never a time that I am not listening to a book. I read this book 11 years ago, and at the time I thought this is the best book I've ever read in my life. I wanted to read it again. I don't know, for some reason it was on my mind. It is the third book in a series by Cassandra Clare. It is young adult, kind of steampunk fantasy, and it's called Clockwork Princess. Beautiful cover. I have a box set of the trilogy. And there are three things I want to tell you about this book. First of all, the time period it is set in is in the late 1800s, in the Victorian era. And the language that they use is just so refined and so beautiful. It was such a pleasure. Daniel Sharman is the narrator, to listen to the way that he would say these words. It was just, that was one of the things that I fell in love with when I said 11 years ago that this was the best book I've ever read. The second thing is that there are three characters in this book, and they are all friends, and they are all teenagers, like they're 16, 17, 18 years old, but they're all soulmates. And what I loved was the way that those relationships were treated. And even more, I like the way they were not treated. Beautiful, beautiful relationships. Beautiful. And the last thing I want to tell you is this quote. One does not question miracles or complain that they are not constructed perfectly to one's liking. That's repeated a couple of times in the book, and I just think that is so good. That's just so good. Now I'll move into my little bit of Jesus, which means if you don't stay for that, thank you so much for being here. I am so glad you came. Hopefully I'll have some more sewing to tell you about next time. If you stuck around for a little bit of Jesus, I just want to share this scripture with you. From Luke 1:37, for no word from God will ever fail. That's from the New International Version. From the version that I read every day, which is from the Message, it says, nothing, you see, is impossible with God. That comes from the part of the first chapter where Gabriel comes to Mary and announces that she will be the mother of the Savior, of Jesus. And how fantastic is the economy of God that he could say this, and yet it would have such far-reaching meanings for anyone who ever hears it or reads it. I thought that was pretty amazing. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon.